Hey everyone, it's Kyle. I have so much to update you guys on, and I'm really sorry that it's been this long since I made a video. But if you want to go week by week with me and see what my symptoms were during that week, I have my blog listed below. Otherwise, I just want to tell you guys what's been going on with me for the past, I don't know, 4 months, 4 weeks. Basically, it's all kind of jumbled up until this point. I'm 33 weeks pregnant today, and I feel good. I have developed carpal tunnel, which sucks because I have so many thank you cards to write, and I can't do it. I stopped crocheting. My hands are it just hurts so bad, especially in the morning. Not just my fingers, but my entire hand hurts. My wrists kill. My left elbow hurts a lot. When I wake up, I have a lot of pain in my knees, in my hip, and like my right hip, and my feet are swollen. They're not terribly swollen, but they're to the point where it hurts really bad to walk. I try to keep them elevated as much as possible, and I really do try to stay active as much as I can because I don't want to be like this big fat blob on the couch, but doing things is hard. So I'm moving a lot slower these days. Basically, I had 2 doctor's appointment this past week. So the first one, I had a growth scan, and that went completely normal. Everything looks good with the baby. Everything looks fine with me. They are keeping an eye on my platelets. I told you guys way back when I had the gestational diabetes test done that my platelets came back at 125,000, which is low. It's not like alarming low, but it's low enough that they want to keep their eye on it. They want to make sure it wasn't dropping. So I had the test done 4 weeks after that one, and it did come back that it dropped to 110,000. So now, excuse me, I have to go back in 2 more weeks to have the test done again. And it's just a blood test. It's not like a big deal, but I had the test done again, and if it comes back at 100,000, close to 100,000 or below, they will send me to a hematologist. From there, we discuss our options as to what we can do to raise the blood count or the platelet count, and most likely they'll put me on a steroid, and that will raise my count over a week or 2. If for whatever reason I would go into labor before the platelets were high enough, they would give me the medicine through an IV. I don't know what the medicine's called, but that would raise my platelet count within just a couple hours. Worst case scenario is that I would go into labor, there's no time for anything, I would need an emergency C-section, I haven't had any type of IV to raise the platelets, or the steroids weren't in me long enough that they did anything. So worst case scenario would be I would have a transfusion done. Honestly, I was freaking out about it for absolutely no reason. I had no idea that there were all these options out there. I thought, oh my god, I'm one of those women that are at risk to die during birth. So, yeah, totally overdramatic. I should have just waited to talk to the doctor before I got all these crazy thoughts in my head, because it's just not, I'll be fine. I went to the obstetrician the very following day for like a regular OB appointment, but this one was like my first non-stress test. And I'm so sorry, I'm out of breath. It is so hard to breathe. The non-stress test is where they put a monitor on the top of your stomach and a monitor down below on the bottom part of your stomach. The one below measures the heart rate, the one on top measures to see if you're having any contractions. So I'm just sitting there in this chair that's just totally uncomfortable because you're reclined, but you're not reclined enough. And I know that this happens sometimes when I'm just sitting at home. I'm not in like a perfectly comfortable position, and I just start to have Braxton Hicks contractions, usually just moving from side to side, or moving where I'm a little more reclined or whatever. The contractions stop. So, excuse me, my throat is so dry. So I'm having these contractions. Well, I feel one for sure. One big one. You're on these monitors for 20 minutes. Within 10 minutes, they come in and check you just to make sure you don't need anything, if you're feeling all right, da-da-da-da-da. Then they also look at your papers that are feeding out of, like, it looks like one of those machines like when you're in labor and the contractions, they're measuring all that stuff. So there's that little machine next to me. I also have a little buzzer that anytime he moves, I hit the buzzer, which he was moving a lot, so they weren't concerned about that. But she comes in, and it's 10 minutes now, and she said, "Are you feeling these contractions?" And I said, "I know for sure I had 1, maybe 2, I don't know." She said, "You've already had 3. And 4 within 1 hour is you're supposed to call your OB and let them know if that would happen to you if you were at home. If you have more than 4 Braxton Hicks within an hour, that's enough for them probably to send you to the hospital just to get checked to make sure everything's okay." So 3 within 10 minutes was kind of like, you know, raised a flag. And she said, "I'm going to keep you on here for the next 10 minutes, just monitor everything, and then the doctor wants to see you." So, okay, whatever. I'm there for the next 10 minutes, and I'm just getting more and more uncomfortable, and I can feel these Braxton Hicks coming on, and I'm like, it has to be the way I'm sitting, because I feel, other than that, I feel fine. So she comes in and she's like, "You're having a lot of contractions." She's like, "Are you feeling okay? Like, do you feel like you're going into labor or anything?" I said, "No, I haven't had any other signs." I said, "This chair is really uncomfortable. I don't know if that has anything to do with it." So she said, "Okay, well, let's get the doctor in." And the doctor said, because I've had the bleeding early on in the pregnancy, because this is an IVF baby, they want to be on top of everything and just make sure that they're monitoring me the way that they need to be. So they did a test called a fetal fibronectal. I could have just butchered that completely, but I think that's what it's called. They did that test. It's a swab of your cervix, and then they rush the swab off to some lab. The lab calls you back within just a couple hours, and if it comes back positive, it means you are very high risk to deliver preterm. If it comes back negative, it doesn't mean that the baby's not going to come early. It just means that he's very highly unlikely to come within the next 1 to 2 weeks. So the doctor said, "I'm sending this off to the lab. When they call you, if they tell you it's positive, you have to go to triage tonight." We are in the middle of a freaking blizzard. I was like, what? 1, I don't feel different. Like, I definitely don't feel like I'm going into labor. 2, are you kidding me? Like, I wasn't expecting to hear the word triage anytime soon. So I said, "I feel like that chair was making me have those contractions." And he said, "It doesn't matter. If that test comes back positive, you need to go." So I was kind of on pins and needles, and it was really surreal because I didn't feel any different than I did any other day of this entire pregnancy. So I got the call, and it was negative, which is wonderful because to hear, I'm 33 weeks, so if he comes between 34 and 35 weeks, his lungs still are not developed where they need to be. So he would need surfactant. He'd probably be in the NICU for a while, and I just don't want that for him or for me. So I was praying that the test was negative, which it was. And like I said, it doesn't mean he's not coming early. It just means he's highly unlikely to come within the next 2 weeks, which is good. He is so big to the point where I asked if they were going to change the due date, and they said that they don't change the due date unless he's measuring like really, really off. But with that being said, because he's so big, they are going to talk to me about scheduling induction probably within my 38th week of pregnancy, or a scheduled C-section. Excuse me. And at this point, I haven't decided. I don't have a birth plan. I'm really laid back in terms of how I deliver. I don't really care that much. If they would say you need a C-section, I'm not one of those people that are like, absolutely not. I would never ever want that. I would rather not have them do a C-section than ever have to use a vacuum or forceps or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. My biggest fear, I guess, would be going into labor, you know, being induced, then starting to push, and, you know, he's just too big, and then he's been stuck in the birth canal for a long time, and then having the C-section. I feel like I would be more comfortable just having a set plan, C-section baby, go in there, you know, have him taken out, and then it's done, you know? So I don't know. Chris and I still have to talk about it, but like I said, I'm not really too concerned if I need the C-section. It is what it is. I was a C-section baby. Both of my sisters were C-section babies. My older sister had her 2 boys C-section, and my sister-in-law just had her baby C-section. So yeah, I'm not really one of those people that would freak out if they told me I need that. So I think that's it. I don't know. I feel like that was a lot. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm you guys. But overall, I'm feeling good. The baby's healthy. I'm healthy. That's all that matters. And I will try to keep you guys updated a little more often, especially since I'm nearing the end now. I have 7 weeks left. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit less. So I will keep you guys updated as much as I can. And I hope you are all faring well this winter. We got clobbered with snow. It's ridiculous. I think there's at least 3 feet of snow out there, and it's still snowing. It's snowing right now. So I hope everyone's doing well, and I will see you guys in my next video.